I might need a little more detailed of a recap of last episode.
You fuck shit up. That's the whole thing. Heikki fuck shit up.
Our tiny crappy boat arrived. There was some stuff in between, but the gist is that at the end, our little tiny boat arrived on basically like a reef filled with shipwrecks.
Oh, yeah.
And we did battle with some weird fishy people on top of some of those shipwrecks.
And then you gave a smoke signal that said, "Hey, party over here," and literally everybody else came.
Like dozens
They're
of
fish people, right? Okay.
Well, they're fish-y people.
Fishy.
Like some of them are squiddy, some of them are maybe jellyfishy.
So, to get a better idea, like a visual sense of the island, imagine if there was like a massive stone crown sticking out of the water so that the middle is water, but there's like kind of jagged, huge rock spires in a circle. Not symmetrical, like it doesn't look like it was crafted. And then all around that, on top of it, all over the place, are the shipwrecks. There is like stone actual island here, but it's just covered in shipwrecks. But yeah, so last time you guys left Gertrude's, had an interesting encounter with the crocodile, a couple of crocodiles, I guess, and then sailed through the night, tried out some fishing, tried out some rat hunting, unsuccessfully with each for the most part. And then you arrived at the island, made some noise, attracted some attention, won your small fight, and then were immediately surrounded by at least 20 more of the things that you just fought 3 of. And that is where we are starting today.
Are we still in initiative? Because I super don't remember that.
No, this would be a new initiative if you're going to fight. However, as the 3 of you are standing there, none of the 20 that are circling you make, like, ultimately aggressive moves towards you. They're obviously not friendly. They're holding, like, various sort of shitty spears and stuff.
If you don't move, they can't see you.
They came up to you kind of in a circle, but as you stand there and watch, unless any of you are making any actions, are any of you making any actions?
I am just kind of holding.
Yeah.
Axe out, shield out.
It's like the face-off kind of thing, part of the fight where we're building drama.
The camera is circling around the 3 of you, standing in a back-to-back triangle.
Exactly. I got a little fireball in my hand, ready to go.
They start to form around you more like 2 parallel lines instead of a circle, stretching out kind of a pathway in front of you, but keeping the rear closed off.
The rear meaning from where we came? From whence we came?
Yes, like they're staying between you and the sea, but they are kind of forming a path with their various weaponry. And
did you just, like, the Munchkin kids, like, follow the rotting boards row?
Follow the riding boards row. Follow the riding boards row. Follow the riding boards row.
Yes?
I don't know. What are you doing?
I will inch slightly further away from the beach.
Okay.
Once he, like, scooches, I, like, scooch with him. Like, always keeping within
Scooching
touch.
formation.
Yes, exactly.
Heikki, are you scooching?
Yes, I'm definitely scooching. But I have a question. How many of them are grouped in a small area?
No.
And can you define that area?
Now that they've kind of stretched out into a very tall U shape, I guess you could say, they are more spread out. I mean, in a way, they're closer together.
Mm-hmm. But like a long kind of thing?
Yeah, they're also in a long linear formation kind of on each side of you.
Okay, good to know. Second question, not related.
Uh-huh.
How long is the dragon boat?
The dragon is the larger one?
Yeah.
24 feet long.
How many of them are within 24 feet, roughly the shape of the dragon boat?
Probably 8 of them.
That's it?
8 out of 20?
Yeah, because the most densely compacted area is where they're closing off and like rounding out between the two lines right behind you.
They're clogging our U-bend.
Yeah. They're spacing out enough to where like it would be very difficult to dart between them, but they're not like crowding up next to each other so that they're impeding each other's ability to maneuver.
Gotcha. Okay. Just questions ahead.
Yeah. So as you scooch forward down this line, the ones kind of blocking your path kind of do a maneuver where they close in to the spaces that you've abandoned, but also like a couple of them break off and move to the front to extend the line, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Like whenever the army people do the running thing and they switch places.
Sure. So they are they're kind of forming this artificial path of fishy bodies and directing you down a certain path. Do you just keep following them?
As we're moving, I don't want to provoke anything, but I'm just like, guys, this is not good. We gotta figure out a way out of this. I don't want to meet the Fish King.
Yeah, they're taking us to their leader.
So you say this out loud?
Like as a whisper, like out of the side of my mouth kind of thing.
Okay.
It's hard to whisper into a mic, is the whole thing.
You just gotta talk like this, with your mouth closed. Alright, so you continue on. Oriana voices her concerns. Do you let them lead you all the way to wherever they're taking you?
I'd like to look kind of ahead towards wherever they seem to be kind of funneling us.
Okay. It's hard to see too far into the distance with all the like rising and falling of the shipwrecked hulls, but as you keep progressing down this line of bodies, after a while you can see that it seems like they are making their way kind of through the path of least resistance towards a cave opening in the rock.
All right.
Do I like recognize them as a species?
You can make an Arcana check to see if you kind of...
That's a 19 total.
Woo! 19. So...
You had this cousin.
Actually, Heikki, I'll give you a history check on this.
Ooh.
As a sailor.
With your art professor's lore.
Is that an advantage or anything, or just normal?
Just normal.
Okay. 14 flat.
Okay. Heikki, you've been a lot of places and seen a lot of weird things. You're not exactly sure which category this could fall under. Mm-hmm. Oriana, you have like a vague idea through your studies that humans can be kind of corrupted into marine creatures in a couple of different ways, and you're not skilled enough to know which way this might be, but you do get a sense from looking at them and seeing the difference between them and like a uniform species like merfolk or marrow. You can kind of get the sense that these are probably corrupted humans.
They're Davy Jones's crew.
Do I know if they have to do this on their own, or if another person has to enact this on them? Like, is it a curse, or is it like a save, basically?
You're not sure. You know that there is a type of thing like this where it's somebody devoting themselves to a higher power, but there's also some devious magic that can curse somebody into being one of these things. But so you're not exactly sure what it is, but you have a feeling that it's some type of corrupted human.
Okay.
I would like to use my divine sense. I attempt to know the location of all celestials, fiends, undead, or consecrated or desecrated objects within 60 feet of me, not behind total cover.
Okay. You don't pick up anything within 60 feet of you.
Ooh.
Okay.
Should I try to give them candy? I don't know if I have enough.
Maybe wait for the big guy that we're about to meet.
I was thinking the same thing.
Tier 1 candy. None of that. Oh, you should give him the caramel. All right, that's our plan B. I don't know what our plan A is yet.
I think it's a pretty strong plan A, but...
Well, it would be plan A if we don't have a plan A.
As soon as somebody comes up with something better, it gets shoved back to plan B. All right, so because of the difficult terrain, it probably takes 25 to 30 minutes total, but you do reach the mouth of this cave without taking any aggressive action to escape. And they start to kind of redouble the bodies in the back as they scrunch the pathway in, shortening the distance between you and the cave entrance.
Over the course of this half hour, can I get Murray to like coil up around my arm inside my tunic so that he's not seeable?
Make a hide check, I guess, or stealth. Just give me a stealth roll for Murray.
That's a 19 plus something.
Ooh. Plus snake
Sneaky.
Snake
Oh,
dex
it's right at the
is
snake.
plus
I
3.
forgot. I was thinking mink. I was like, maybe you could do this. Okay, with a snake, yeah. With the 19, Murray is currently concealed up your sleeve.
Okay, perfect.
How much bigger is a mink than a ferret?
They're about the same size, I think.
Yeah, not much.
Okay, a ferret could totally
like
do
small otter.
It. All right, gotcha.
It's like shorter in lengthwise, but
It's like a marmot.
yeah, they're more closer to like stoats and stuff.
Gotcha.
Marmots, stoats, and minks, weasels, ferrets.
We got them all down at Billy Bob's.
Wild Earl's Long Cat Emporium. Okay. Anybody else doing anything, or are you entering the cave?
Let's see. How much light is there in the cave?
It's pretty dark.
I'm gonna stow the shield and light one of my last few torches.
Okay. So the three of you enter into the mouth of this cave, and it opens into a tunnel that winds around in a spiral pattern, probably like 270 degrees.
Ooh.
Like you go in forward and you end up facing.
At your 9 o'clock.
No, wait, that's too many. That's too many degrees. We'll say it's like 160 degrees. Like it doesn't quite turn you all the way around backwards, but you have to go down this path a little ways before entering into a larger chamber with a pool of water in the far side. In this room, there are a couple of weird, sickly, greenish torches on the wall. They don't provide a lot of light, but you'd be able to see a little bit without a torch.
Alright. I will make one scan of the room before snuffing my torch.
Okay, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Everyone?
Sure. You're all looking around, I assume.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a nat 1.
Not tremendous. 13.
Dirty 20.
Okay. The main thing that you all notice is the smell of, like, rotting fish.
Ooh.
But there's not much to be seen. There's kind of some slimy clumps of probably seaweed that are just kind of strewn around. But as you look around, you see that the pool starts to bubble.
Hot springs! I have been needing a bath, you guys. I appreciate you not saying anything, but, you know, I get it.
Trust me, this is not the right pool of water for a bath.
I don't know. Maybe there's rejuvenating chemicals in the horrific brine. It's like a mud bath, except
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
a stinking silt bath.
Charcoal.
It's a death bath.
You know, if you smell skunky, if you got skunk, you're supposed to wash yourself with, like, borscht.
What is borscht?
It's a tomato soup, or a Russian tomato soup.
I was about to say, it's a Russian something. I learned that from Muppets, I think.
I thought you were going to say Masha. Do you know what Masha is? Because you guys don't have kids?
Nope.
It's this, like, Russian little girl who, like, tells stories, and when she tells them, they always, like, twist into some weird moral, like, and that's why you don't go outside and smoke cigarettes with people you don't know.
That's why you always leave a note.
Exactly.
Always bring a towel.
It's like Bluths with the guy with no arm.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we see bubbling in this?
As this pool churns up, you see, at first it seems like another clump of seaweed, of this really slimy seaweed is just rising on its own out of the water, until a head emerges from beneath the seaweed, and two scaly blue clawed arms reach up and part the seaweed like hair, and you see a grotesque, fishy, humanoid face. And I need you each to make a wisdom save.
-1. All right.
5.
18.
Wait, Murray gets to roll.
Is Murray still up your sleeve, or can he see?
Ooh.
Is it predicated on being able to see?
I mean, his head can be poking out, but it might affect the stealth.
Well, then no.
Okay.
I got a 14.
Okay. Chrome and Heikki, you have a shiver of disgust go down your spine, but you manage to keep your senses about you. Oriana, you are very, very frightened of this thing, whatever it is.
It's so ugly.
There are still a mob of these other fishy creatures behind you, so you can't turn and run. But yeah, you're pretty scared.
Can I cower behind Chrome?
Sure.
Roll to cower. Having squelched my torch, I would like to bring my shield back up.
Okay. This creature steps fully out of the pool, and you see that it's a female humanoid shape. And as she breathes, she's got bubbles forming at the edges of her mouth.
Wait! Stop where you are!
She pays no attention to that.
I whip out the 2 pieces of candy that we got from Gertrude. And I have a peace offering for you. The greatest candy known to mankind.
Shit, I forgot we didn't bring up another plan A.
We never had another plan A.
She tilts her head for a second, looking at you, Heikki, and says, "Come forward."
So I walk forward and I hold up the candy higher.
Okay. And these are the caramels?
These are the caramels that Gertrude gave us.
She reaches down and takes it and looks at the candy and glares at you for a second, and then she lifts up the candy and sniffs the caramels, and then makes a sound of disgust and throws them across the room.
Ah! I'm angry now, and I look at her and and I firebolt her face.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
That's a sign. That's a universal DM sign. Don't do it. Heikki. It's candy.
Yeah.
Candy is the most important thing in his life. More important than his own life.
I'm gonna need you to... Actually, this is such an act of defiance. I'm gonna let this happen before initiative's rolled. But you are gonna have disadvantage since you're point blank.
Okay, that's fair. And it's just firebolt. Okay, here we go. That sucks. I had an 18, and that's a 6 plus 5, so 11.
That does not hit.
Oh no!
It shoots off, and for a second you think you got it right in the face.
That's right.
But just the absolute sogginess of all of her seaweed hair kind of just absorbs it, and you see a little bit of steam rise off of the top of her head as she just glares at you.
I pee a little.
Oriana, are you completely behind Chrome at this point? Or do you have your head poking out to see this happen?
Yeah, I think I'm poking out between his arms. I don't, people have gaps. So I'm poking around one side and then hiding and then poking around another side.
Okay. As the steam rises off of this soggy lady, she's going to turn her eyes almost just dismissively from Heikki directly towards you, Oriana, and I need you to make another wisdom save.
Oh gosh.
17 plus 5. No, plus 3. Sorry.
Okay, for a second, the fear in your heart...
Oh wait, I have to say it. Dirty 20. Okay.
The fear in your heart seems to swell for a moment, almost enough to overcome you and steal away your consciousness, but you manage to shake it off.
So I am no longer afraid. I'm just
No, you're still afraid.
But you almost had a heart attack.
Yeah.
You almost had a heart attack, yeah. So if you're going to continue, let's go ahead and roll some initiative.
Yeah, I continue to cower.
I can't see why I would stop. She just threw my candy.
I have a 10 for initiative.
I do too.
Murray has a nat 20 because of fucking course.
Chrome also has a nat 20.
Woo.
All right. I'm assuming Murray has a higher AC or Dex than Chrome,
Yep.
and then I'm assuming Heikki has a higher Dex than Oriana.
I have 3.
I have 2.
Yeah. Okay. So top of the order would be Murray.
I have no idea how that would work, so I think he stays his action.
All right. Then Chrome would be next. You're about 30 feet away.
Fuck it!
And I will run.
Fuck this shit!
Did you just take off? Which way did you run?
I will run towards the hag, and I will try to smack her with the axe.
Okay,
All
this
right.
is how it goes. You go, Chrome Stormboard! I don't remember your last name, but...
Stormbless.
Okay.
That is a dirty 20.
Nice.
Okay, that hits.
And I'm gonna burn my last smite of the day.
Oops.
Okay.
So that is 10 slashing damage, plus 11 radiant. I presume that she is a hag rather than undead.
You are correct.
So that is just the 10 slashing plus 11 radiant.
All right.
And then, okay, so I ran up to her. Hecky's also right up to her, but Oriana's 30 foot plus away.
Right.
I will then channel divinity and scream, "Face Chrome!" So she must make a wisdom save or be tethered to within 30 feet of me.
Okay. Wisdom save. That is a 16.
That beats my DC. My DC is very low.
Ooh.
Okay.
Get low, get low.
Heikki, that would bring us to you.
Okay. I will... Ooh, I'm going... This lady looks pretty scary, so I'm going Chromatic Orb, level 2.
I wish you would have had that thought before you fucking attacked her out of nowhere.
She threw my candy! So first I'd like to step back into a spell attack range.
Okay, you're going to provoke an opportunity attack.
Yes.
That is a 19 to hit.
Okay, and that's only a +5 if I do shield, so I'm going to take it.
Alright, that is
6,000.
10 slashing damage.
Oh! Might be have gone a little too cavalier here.
Really?
Okay, I would like to back up, like as far as I can, actually. I mean, you tell me how far that is.
Well, you have 25 movement, so you can back up 25 feet. So you're
25 feet.
basically standing in front of Oriana.
Okay. I'll stand there, and then I will use Tides of Chaos and cast Chromatic Orb at level 2. So, fire damage. Here it comes. 12 and a 15 plus 5, so dirty 20.
Alright, that hits.
Alright, and now that is, what is
48.
that? 48.
Where the ones are twos. And
One.
there is no resistance.
2,
Only immunity.
4. I have to do that because I have no idea what is resistant to what. Oh, there's a 1, so I'm going to flip that to a 2. So a lot of 2s. 2, 4, 6, plus 3, 9.
God damn.
Yeah, that sucked.
Alright.
And then I need to roll my Wild Surge. It's a 1. And it's at the start of a fight!
Alright. I don't even have that table pulled up.
Low percentile.
I have it here. Okay. Ooh, 100.
Nice.
You got a 0-0?
A 100. Wait a minute, or is that what is 1 and a 00?
That's 1.
That's a 1. Okay, so that's what I got.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Then you roll on this table at the start of your turns for the next minute, ignoring this result on subsequent rolls. So you'll ignore a 1 or a 2.
Okay.
But you will roll at the beginning of every turn.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
And that's how that island was swallowed forever.
The entire island became a potted plant.
All right. So that happened.
Yeah. Wait a minute. No, I'm good. That's it.
Okay.
No, sorry. I'm gonna use my bonus action to convert 2 sorcery points to a level 2 slot. I believe that's how it works.
It's 2 to 1. I think it's a higher conversion rate. I think it's you need 2 sorcery points for a level 1.
Yeah, so it's 2 for the first level, 3 for second level, 5 for third level.
Okay, so I'll transform 3 points. So that's all my points.
Okay. So that's your turn?
Yep.
Okay, next is Oriana, but give me a second. Let's see. Okay, so you're still frightened. At the end of your turn, you can repeat the saving throw against the fear.
Okay. So I would like to cast Magic Missile, which I did not use in the previous fight. So that's 4, 3, and 1. So 8 plus 3. 11.
11 in force damage unless she casts shield.
She does not.
Nice.
Okay, so that's your action. Are you going to do anything else, or just go ahead and roll the save?
Yeah, I'll just roll the save.
Okay, wisdom save.
That's a natural 1.
Oh no. Oh no.
Okay, we haven't done, like, nat 1 fumbles on saving throws, have we?
Not usually.
I don't think
Okay.
so.
Alright.
Doesn't mean that
yeah.
we shouldn't.
You're super still afraid. Seeing it take all this punishment and still stand there, you're, like, nearly wetting yourself.
Does the fear have the thing where I have to move as far away from it as I possibly can?
The fear status effect in and of itself, there are other effects on things that have fear effects, but the fear status effect in and of itself, all it means is you cannot approach the subject of your fear, that being the hag, and while you can see the hag, you have disadvantage on all attacks, and possibly on some other stuff.
But I don't have to move away.
You don't have to, but you can't move towards it.
Okay.
Yeah. But the entrance of the cave is clogged by many, many enemies right now.
Let's see.
Okay.
Oh, you have a disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls, while you can see the thing that you're afraid of.
It doesn't matter since you rolled a nat 1, but because you can still see the hag, you will have disadvantage on re-rolling that saving throw.
Well, no, it's attack rolls and ability checks.
No, I know, but this is a specific thing to the horrific appearance. If a creature, let's see, where is it? With disadvantage if the hag is within line of sight.
Okay.
Luckily, Chrome and Heikki are immune to that effect for 24 hours.
Oh, nice.
So do I fall to the ground and I'm cowering over myself because Chrome left me and ran into the hag?
I mean, I don't want to institute fumbles for nat 1 saving throws unless everybody's on board.
I mean, I'd say you might have peed a little.
Yeah. Yeah, you might have an embarrassing extra effect, but not a crippling extra effect.
I mean, a 1 is pretty bad.
Okay, so that's Oriana's turn. Next is the hag's turn. She has taken a decent amount of damage, so she is going to just reach her hand out, say a command word to her minions in a language that I don't think any of you...
I speak Primordial, Common, and Giant.
Oh, does Primordial... Is that an umbrella term meaning you understand all Primordial languages?
It depends on interpretation. It's basically like I know Latin, and so maybe I understand Spanish and Italian and Portuguese, depending.
Somewhat. Like a functional understanding, but not necessarily fluent.
Yeah.
Okay. So you catch... Seems like something along the lines of get in here and circle them. And then she is going to hop backwards, provoking an opportunity attack from Chrome as she dives back into the pool of water.
All right. I would just yell out company as I take a swipe. That's a shitty swipe, though. That is a whole 11 on that swipe.
Can't quite manage to get it. The blade of your axe passes through some of the seaweed, but doesn't do any damage. There is a wet leaf of seaweed kind of wrapped around the axe head now. not doing anything functional, just kind of gross. She hops backwards into the water, and you can tell that it's even though it's not like a huge pool of water, it's very deep and likely extends underground to some other area.
Does that mean I become unfrightened?
No,
No.
You're still afraid that she's around. It means you won't have disadvantage on the thing.
She leaps backwards into this pool, but then keeps her head above water, but is far enough away that she's out of range of melee attacks. And she says to you, "You know that's a really stupid move, considering you're surrounded. I brought you here to give you a task for a chance to escape with your lives.
You threw my candy!
That candy reeked of other hags."
It's not a very nice thing to say about Gertrude.
Gertrude is a plague wizard.
Since it is still her turn, she's going to turn her gaze again on Oriana, and Oriana, I need you to make another wisdom saving throw.
With disadvantage?
No, not this one.
Nat 20.
Oh.
Okay. This time, it feels similar to last time, but you were almost expecting it, so you managed to shake it off easier. So that's her action, and she said words. Next action in the next initiative is all of those minions in the entrance. You're not exactly sure how many there were. Quickly looking, it was at least 20, and 10 of those break off from the others that are still guarding the entrance and come and surround you. Still not attacking, but, I mean, you are very, very surrounded at this point. So, next in the order would be Murray.
Okay, at this point, I kind of want to have him, like, peeking out to see what's going on, but I don't know how that would, if, like, I can talk to him telepathically, but I don't know if I would be like, hey, go do this thing, you know? So I think that he has to stay his turn again. Like, narratively?
I think you can command him telepathically. Also, because he's not surprised, because you can tell him that this thing is there, he can avert his eyes from the hag and not make the saving throw to be frightened.
Okay. Well, I don't want him to, like, go out. I just want him to ready his bite, basically, for anyone who gets close enough to him that he can just, like, whatcha, you know?
Okay. No matter what they do, is the trigger just them getting close?
I think it's the fish people, yeah, getting close and, like, being aggressive. Like, I think you can tell, you know?
Okay.
As opposed to someone walking up and being like, hey, and raising their hand in a wave and raising it with a pike. I think there's an obvious difference there.
Okay. It's just important to specify triggers for readied actions.
Okay.
Okay, and that will take his reaction to complete the readied action. Okay, so that is Murray's. Then Chrome, it would be your turn next.
I'm just gonna kind of stay in my position. Heikki, apologize.
It would be Heikki's turn next.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll my wild surge. 26.
An eye appears on your forehead for the next minute. During that time, you have advantage on perception checks that rely on sight.
Nice. Okay, look, we can make this all better if you could just hand me back the candy. I'll wash it off, and I'll put it back in my stash. But it's not nice to be so rude to a gift that is given to you. So you should really think about what you did and apologize.
Wow, that was a very dad-like Adam I just saw there.
Not having my minions kill you on sight was my gift to you. And what did you do? You burned me.
Well, I think it's even. You threw the candy, I burned your face.
You may take the candy from where it lay on the ground as you leave here if you agree to my terms.
We can consider them.
At this point, are you... Well, we'll keep the initiative rolled just in case somebody does something else crazy.
Every 6 seconds would be a round for me.
Well, I guess that... So does that happen even if you're not in combat for the whole minute? Okay, so... What is that, fucking 10 times or some shit?
Be 9 more times.
Alright, that'll, whew. Alright. This should be interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys should probably start stepping back from me.
We can't. We're still in initiative.
You're still surrounded by enemies. What have you come to my island for?
We're searching for M.
She just looks at you with an eyebrow raised. Which is hard to do because she has like fish eyes that don't blink.
He shipwrecked here like 3 days ago.
There was a shipwreck here yesterday.
Maybe that was him.
That's probably about this point. There'd be another surge.
Okay, go ahead and roll another one, Heikki.
Okay. 2 and 0, 0, so 20?
No, it's a 2.
2.
So you ignore that result.
Okay.
So that just means nothing happens.
Aww.
Don't worry, 6 seconds later, you'll get another. Actually, I need to start a counter so I don't forget about this shit. So that's
the second one of 10.
So there should be 8 more.
Yep.
She says, if you're pursuing the man who wrecked here yesterday, then our goals might align. You see, there's a creature on board the largest ship on the island, and I want you to kill her for me and bring me her head as proof.
What's the creature? I asked very carefully and quietly in the corner, scared out of my mind.
You see her almost instinctually spit to the side as she says, she used to be a hag. Now she is something twisted and much worse. She goes by Dreadful Dorothy.
I like
okay,
it.
to be fair, that is not very intimidating.
Sinister Susan.
Also, she probably around the time of every surge, she could probably make another save for fear, although still at disadvantage because she can still see the hag.
Yeah, that's true. Go ahead and roll me another one with disadvantage, Amber. Wisdom save.
That's a 5.
Nope, still scared.
Ah! She says, "Dreadful Dorothy," and I scream in her horror.
All right, so anybody else saying anything?
Has it been 6 seconds?
Sure.
Oh god, you may kill us.
So a 50 is a 50, so 57. Oh, for the next minute, any flammable objects you touch that isn't being worn or carried by another creature burst into flame. Am I standing on a ship?
I have good news. You're in a stone cave and everything is wet.
Okay.
Oh, thank God.
So Heikki's just sitting there, faintly smoking.
I'd like to think like I have no idea the things that like the effects that are taking place.
Well, you can't see your own forehead.
You do smell the really foul, fishy smell of the steam coming off from where your shoes are touching the ground.
Cool.
Boots of boiling.
Why do you want her to be dead? Also, how do you know? Do you know where Melvin is?
If Malvin is the one that shipwrecked on the island yesterday, then he is on board the same ship as Dorothy.
Ew, do you think they have a thing?
I can't take Dorothy seriously.
Malvin is a reprobate. He might fuck a plague witch.
I would not put it past him.
The ship wrecked here long ago, and she has been a pain in my ass ever since. It has been all I can do to convert all the sailors who have wrecked here into these sea spawn so that I can fend off her minions from exiting the ship.
What are her minions? You are giving us more information every second, like we should just walk away right now.
Has it been 6 seconds?
Let me tell you what the minions are. Heikki, roll it.
73.
Okay. A random creature within 60 feet of you becomes poisoned for 1d4 hours. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do first. Because of the ratios here, I'm going to roll a d20. If it's 3 or less, it's one of you 3.
Okay.
And,
All right.
Okay, so if it's 1, it's Heikki. If it's 2, it's Oriana. If it's 3, it's Chrome. If it's anything else, it's one of the sea spawn or the hag. If it's 20, it's the hag.
I was going to say, if it's a 20, make it the hag. Yeah.
All right. Actually, you should roll this.
Awesome. Okay. And 18.
Okay, so one of the sea spawn by the entrance just starts coughing and hacking up some weird, bloody seawater stuff.
Doubles over. Ah!
Roll a d4.
Oh, yeah. That guy's 3 hours worth.
All right. May I be excused? No, actually, they can't talk. Just kidding.
Do I need to make my save now? Every time Heikki rolls, do I roll, basically?
Yeah, it's an easy way to do it.
Alright, so that's 13 plus 5.
All right, you finally managed to shake it off. Probably from the weirdness of what's going on here. Like, fear is not the first thing on your mind at this point.
There's a 3-eyed boiling Heikki.
You are saying?
She kind of looks at the one that's hacking up blood in the corner and, like, just kind of shoos him out the door. What was she saying? What was I saying? Oh, yes, minions. Well, I don't know exactly what all she has on that ship, but I know that they are demonic in origin. Every once in a while, one finds its way off, and I have to take care of it with my minions.
So you're the good guy? I do not understand this dynamic.
She wants to rule the island.
Don't worry about good and evil. This was my fucking island, and she shipwrecked here, and basically moved her house on top of my house, and I want her gone.
Okay, this sounds a lot like The Wizard of Oz. I do not know if you have seen this film, but there's a house involved, and there's a witch involved, and there's a Dorothy involved.
You're right. There is a Dorothy.
She looks at the one hacking up blood and is like, "Toto, get out of here!"
Follow the Rotten Plank Road. Follow the Rotten Plank Road.
We
Follow
did.
follow the Rotten Plank Road.
It's coming back. Oh, God.
DM, what have you put us up to?
I have given you quite a bit of information, which I don't know what you know about hags, but information is very valuable. If you kill her and bring me proof, you may leave this island alive and take Malvin with you.
What if we do not?
Well, then I turn you into fish people.
Well, do we have a timetable, or can we just like hang out for a couple of months and really get into her daily routine and then stalk her a little bit and then catch her by surprise? I mean, that would take some time, no?
She holds up a hand to stop you. Let me tell you what happens next. I will have my sea spawn lead you to the one breach in the hull of that ship that we know about, allowing you to board. Then they're going to stand around that ship and wait for as long as it takes for you to come out.
That seems like you are setting us up for failure, but I want to get out of this fucking cave, so let's do it.
Should I roll?
Also, yeah, probably time for Heikki.
Oh shit, I haven't been marking this down. What number are we on now?
Oh, God.
I
think
think
this
you have
is
6
5.
more or 5 more.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that is a 31.
You're transported to the astral plane.
Wait, what? What?
He
What?
blinks out of existence temporarily.
Heikki, yeah, okay, so Heikki just blinks out. The hag stares for a second.
Was that you?
Well, does anybody else have a special ability to get them out of trouble?
He'll be back eventually.
Uh,
He still needs his candy, doesn't he?
He'll find a way. Next campaign, the epic saga of how Heikki battles his way through the astral plane in search of Carmel.
I'm only there for 6 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then he shows back up where he was.
There's probably like 3 full seconds of people just staring.
I'd like to
And then
think
she
that I
says
was
that,
like...
and then you pop back into place.
I'd like to think that right before I went away, I was like, look, I have an idea. Why don't we... And then and then I come back, and that's how it'll happen.
Okay, let me go back to start. Okay, so you get 1 roll in the astral plane.
Okay.
Because of how it works. So go ahead and do another one.
So in the astral... Oh, that's a... That was a D20 and a D4.
No, we are not playing drunk, listeners. I don't know what you're talking about.
So a 0 and a 40 is a 40.
Yep.
Ooh, you regain 2d10 hit points. I needed that.
So you go away, and then you come back, and you're all buff again.
That was a refreshing 6-second vacation to the astral plane.
Yeah,
He's got the Bermuda shorts and the Hawaii shirt on.
He's got like a Mai Tai and a fucking coconut.
Those big, ridiculous sunglasses and a visor.
No, that was 2 9s on the health back.
I just realized that I described Master Roshi.
You got your Dragon Ball Z in my Oz. You got your Oz in my Dragon Ball Z.
I would honestly love to see that crossover.
Dorothy, lend me your energy.
I'd like to see the Wicked Witch of the West, or whatever she is, power up for 2 episodes.
And the flying monkeys are like the baby cells.
Yeah, like Cell Juniors.
Yeah.
I totally understand what's going on.
Okay, so at the end of that turn, you pop back into the cave, exactly where you left.
Wait!
Well, okay.
Are you the real Heikki?
Yeah, that was a little bit strange. Everything looked a little different there for a second, but I'm all right.
Is this what dwarves do when they go through puberty or something?
Should I roll again?
Yeah, go ahead and do one more.
I just want to get these, out of the 82.
Take one additional action immediately.
You are no longer kind of in combat, it seems, so...
I'll just grab the candies.
Okay, as they were waiting for you to return, the sea spawn divided into groups of 10-ish, with one group kind of lining the pool inside the cave to defend the hag, and then the other group arranging at the entrance to escort you. So in that opening, you are free to go get your caramels off the floor.
Does it light on fire? I just realized that.
No, but steam does rise every time you take a step.
Okay.
And at one point you step into a soggy clump of seaweed, and it dehydrates it as all the water steams out of it.
What about the caramels?
You can get some little seaweed chips.
Yeah, do the caramels catch on fire? By another creature.
Well, I don't think caramel's flammable, so...
Oh, yeah, it's definitely flammable.
Sugar's
I burned
flammable.
caramel.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's sugar.
Creme
Super
brulee,
flammable.
bruh.
Caramelization is caused by burning shit.
They would catch fire.
You go and grab the caramel, and soon have a very sticky, melted, sugary mess in your hand.
No!
You started the fight over candy that you burned?
Oh, God.
Why? Not the caramel.
While you're grieving, go ahead and roll me another D100.
Okay. How many more do I have? Is this my last one?
I think you have 2 left.
Okay.
After this one.
After this one.
I think.
85.
You cast mirror image.
Oh, I love mirror image.
What does mirror image do? Let's see.
It gives you the 3 people.
There's several fake Hekkis standing around regular Heikki also mourning their candy.
Ah! No!
Because this magic is sorcery innate, not really controlled, your mirror images actually are all dressed in black mourning clothes and are surrounded with their hands folded respectfully. So you start to get the fuck out of the cave.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Yep.
Okay. You make it about 10 feet out of the cave, and Heikki, I need you to roll again.
Okay, 78. You cast polymorph on yourself.
Heikki,
Okay.
what the fuck are you doing? Cut this shit out.
Where's polymorph?
You become a beast.
You make a wisdom save against your own spell save DC.
Okay.
What?
So my spell save DC is a 13, and my wisdom save is a -1. So 3 minus 1, 2.
Eek.
You are a sheep for the next hour.
He is a mourning sheep surrounded by other sheep.
He's a sheep that still has to roll at least one more wild surge.
Do the mirror images also turn into sheep?
Probably.
There's just a herd
But
of
they're all
sheep
black
now.
sheep because they were in mourning clothes.
What is this game?
There are several of the sea spawn that are just like giving you specifically a wide berth and have very. If a fish can have a confused look on its face, which all fish kind of always look confused, but these look extra confused.
Nice.
All right, so they start leading you towards the massive, like almost mountain of ship hulls wrecks in the center of the island. And as you get another little bit, go ahead and give me your last roll.
All right. So what is that? A 6.
A Modron chosen and controlled by the DM appears in an unoccupied space within 5 feet of you, then disappears 1 minute later.
What is a Modron?
It's from the plane of order. It's like mechanical.
It's like a tiny little robot.
Yeah, they're like clockwork creatures with sentience. Well, I don't know if Modron specifically have sentience, but...
Are they evil?
They're lawful. They're tiny little robots.
So a tiny RoboCop appears.
You have 3 seconds to comply.
Let me see, how powerful are they? 1/8, 1/4, 1/2, 1, and 2. That's very surprisingly ordered, considering they're from the plane of order. Alright, which one's the goofiest looking one?
The guy with the bunch of spears and the arms.
Yeah, that's the one I was looking at. Okay, so a tri-drone pops into existence within 5 feet of you, looks around.
It's surrounded by sheep.
Just there's sheep, and there's some fish that seem to be hurting the sheep, and there's just shipwrecks all over the place, and this is the most chaotic thing it's ever seen, ever. And you can see it just have like a mental breakdown through the eyes on each side as it just kind of like it just keeps spinning in a circle, like trying to observe all of the surroundings, even though it's got an eye on each of its 3 sides, because it looks kind of like an upside down pyramid. I guess I should describe for the viewers. Upside down pyramid with 3 sides, and each side has 1 arm sticking out of it and 2 legs. So it's got 6 legs, 3 arms, which each hold a spear, and 3 faces, comprised of a mouth and an eye. And yeah, it's just looking around. It does not even know where to start, if it should scream or run or what. and as you pass by it, because I mean, this is maybe not even the weirdest thing that's happened in the last minute. And as you go on, in the distance behind you, you hear a little pop as it disappears a minute later. As it is eternally grateful to be out of this nightmare land of chance and choice and weirdness. All right, that is the Wild Surge.
Bah.
How long do the mirror images last? Oh, they only lasted a minute too, so they're gone at this point.
Okay.
Unfortunately, polymorph lasts an hour.
Oh my god.
So from the time of the polymorph, it took probably another 25 minutes of scrambling over shipwrecks to to the...
Are we sure that the sheep that we're just in tow with is Heikki? I don't know why we would just assume this.
In my mind, when things are polymorphed or shape changed, unless it's like true polymorph, they retain some like looks characteristics. Like you can kind of tell.
I still have my tri-corner hat on.
Sheep in a hat. Well, also for the couple minutes until his wild surge was over, he still kept boiling everything that he stepped on as a sheep.
Yeah, that's true. It's a good thing the wool is technically being carried because Just flaming sheep.
Just a big fireball.
That's a possibility.
That'd be pretty on point for Heikki.
I was terrified you were going to kill us all. Because you can accidentally cast fireball.
Yeah.
All right. After another, half hour-ish, you get to this mountain of shipwrecks, and the sea spawn kind of direct you into these makeshift tunnels from between where, like, several hulls are kind of mashed up against each other. You can kind of squeeze between them into this hidden from view alcove from the outside. It's a tight squeeze. You have to go single file.
Okay, I lead the way.
Meh.
Okay. Well, Sheep Heikki, as you progress through this crack, you get to a point where it looks like it's unexpected considering this is an island of shipwrecks, but you see a metal wall in front of you. And as you kind of turn your head side to side and look, there's these slight seams in the shape of squares along this wall. And looking to the right, if you kind of squeeze down along this wall, between this wall and another hull, there is one of these square sections that is actually fallen out, and you can see that there is a cannon barrel sticking out.
And does it look like our whole crew could fit that way?
If the cannon is pushed out of the way, the hole is big enough for each of you to crawl through.
Okay, I would like to turn around and convey this to my group.
Please do so.
I just pick up the sheep, shake it. What are you saying?
It's like he's trying to speak to me.
Alright, I try to hop in the way. Hop into the thing.
Okay,
And sheep are sure-footed, so they have advantage on strength and dexterity saving throws made against effects that would knock it prone.
I don't know if that applies here.
Okay.
But a sheep might be small enough to squeeze past the cannon if you can hop up there. Go ahead and give me I guess an athletics check as a sheep as you climb the short wall to the port.
Are you telling me you did not prepare for this eventuality?
Surprisingly, no.
I have sheep stats up here. So that's a strength +1, so athletics would be +1. Whoops.
Yeah.
I dropped something. Alright, here we go. 17.
Okay. With the sure-footedness of a sheep, you plant your 2 front hooves onto the edge of the square and leap with your back hooves and kind of tumble in through the port beside the cannon, landing on your back inside, but luckily nobody saw that.
Okay. I'm still cool.
As you quickly scramble to your feet.
Okay.
Chrome, I think you're next.
Yeah, I will try to follow the sheep and squeeze my way through this tiny hole.
Okay. It looks like you probably wouldn't fit, but the whole ship, as you look inside, seems to be tilted slightly, and the cannon is tilted away from you a little bit, and there's only, like, one rope still holding it in place.
I will try, if I can get my arm in there, try to cut the rope for this cannon.
Yeah, you can get your arm in there. You cut the rope. Heikki's probably not directly behind the cannon.
I was probably chewing on the rope.
Okay. The rope snaps, the cannon slides back. It doesn't crash backwards because it's not tilted so far, but it is enough for it to roll back on its wheels, opening the way for you.
Alright. I will squeeze in through this tiny opening of the gun port.
Me next.
Alright, Oriana.
Do I roll anything, or do I say I go through the hole that was just created?
No, you can just go through it.
Okay.
There's nothing in the way, and it's low enough that a person-sized thing can get into it without making a check.
I would like to stop everybody after we get in. Huddle up. Huddle up. I think that we should proceed from here with stealth. So that's no bars from you. And I know that you're clinky and we're on a ship and it'll be creaky because you weigh 7,000 pounds. But I still think it needs saying, you know?
Bah.
What did I just say? Yes? Everybody is in agreement? Nod your head, Heikki.
I nod my head.
you have a bell and it goes ding 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 ding.
Am I like a bighorn sheep or am I like a fleece kind of sheep?
I'm pretty sure you're a fleece kind of sheep.
Okay, dang. I'm not like Tim.
No.
All right, so we go.
Sure.
Here we go.
So, as you look around this room that you found yourself in, you're in this cannon bay, whatever you'd call it, room.
Gun deck.
And it stretches about how far, Heikki, you would expect as a sailor for it to stretch on a fairly large ship.
Mm-hmm.
There's several cannon ports, although most of the cannons, it seemed, weren't as securely tied down as the one that you entered through. There's like a whole pile of them blocking off one section of the room. It seems like this ship was really tossed and turned whenever it landed here initially, even if it's not too slanted right now. Oh, right. I made a map for this. Let me pull that out real quick. So, Heikki, you can tell that you have entered in on the port side of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
That's the left.
And to your right, you see the large cluster of cannons all piled up, blocking any access to that way. In front of you is a wall. To the left on that wall, there is a door, and then on the short wall, so directly towards the front of the ship from you, there is another door, and that is what there is in this room.
I guess I clitter clatter up to the door, really sneaky, sheepy like.
So I'll differentiate these a little bit more. So there's a smaller door towards the front of the ship, and then there is a more regular sized door that looks like it would open more towards the interior of the ship.
I would probably go for the smaller door.
Okay. You walk up to it?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it does not have your typical style of doorknob, and you're not exactly sure how to open it as a sheep.
I would kick it.
You kick it. Oriana, how do you feel about this noisy interaction?
Okay, so whenever I said that, I was hopeful, but not completely convinced that it would happen. So
like, this would be good, guys.
Comes up to it, tries to open it, and then it's just like, boom! And I'm like, yep, okay, that's about right.
Okay, Heikki, so you kick the door as a sheep.
Yeah.
As you kick it, one of your hooves goes through the rotted planks, and when you pull back, it does yank open the door, and like 90s movie style, a cascade of junk just pours out on top of you. Make a dex save.
A sheep dex save. Okay, is this having a chance of knocking me prone? Do I get to use sure-footedness?
You get to use sure-footage.
Okay, so advantage. Oops. So that was a 4 and a 14 plus nothing, so 14.
Okay. You do manage to leap out of the way before it sweeps you off your feet, but you do take a nice knock on the head and take 2 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
How many hit points does the sheep have?
It has 1d6 or 3.
So you're a very injured sheep.
2/3 of my life force is gone from that closet accident.
And it was something heavy, because sheep have thick skulls.
Would Chrome or I know in essence that polymorph is temporary hit points, so that if you expend all of the hit points of the animal, it would return you back to the person?
I would say that you, being a studied magic user, would know that, but you would also know that true polymorph means that if he's been true polymorphed and he dies as a sheep, he just dies.
Oh, okay. See, Amber did not know that. Because I was about to punch Heikki in the fucking face.
And
Now,
Heikki dies.
Out of character, this was not true polymorph, so that will happen, but I don't know if you'd be able to tell the difference. I guess you can go ahead and make an Arcana check, see if you can examine him and figure it out.
Okay.
But a lot of weird shit's been happening. It's going to be a high DC.
That's a 9.
Okay, yeah, you're not confident enough to punch the sheep in the face.
Let's leave it up to luck. I pull out a coin and flip it.
Nice.
Heads, I punch him in the face. Tails, I do not. How does that sound to you,
Do you have an actual
Crow?
coin next to you?
I have tons of gold pieces.
No, I mean, do you have an actual coin next to you to flip?
No, I was gonna use the dice. Just like odd or even.
Okay.
Crom, how does that seem to you?
Bah, bah, bah,
Sure.
bah.
I go grab Heikki.
Okay, even. I
Start
punch him in the
wailing.
face. Odd, I did not. That's a 5.
Doesn't hit.
Doesn't hit. All right, we travel on.
Looking through the junk, what all was stuffed in this crappy closet?
It seems to have been a storage room for like miscellaneous repair type junk next to the cannon rooms. So, if each of you want to look through the stuff, I want each of you to roll me a d8.
A D8. That's a 3.
Oriana, you find a crowbar.
Ooh.
8.
Hecky,
In your
as a
teeth.
sheep, you shove your head into this pile of stuff, and your teeth close around what feels like a glass bottle, and you get excited thinking maybe you found a potion, and you pull your head out, and is anybody proficient in medicine?
I am.
Okay, anybody proficient in medicine can roll.
I have a -1.
That's not great though. That's 11.
11 is good enough with it, because it would only take a very basic understanding. This sheep is holding a vial of acid in its teeth.
Whatever you do, sheep, don't bite down.
Chrome, did you roll?
I rolled a 1.
Okay, you get a 10-foot chain.
I'm already jingly enough, and I will just kind of wrap it around me, bandolier style.
Now you can Ghost of Christmas
Christmas
Past it.
We're mixing a lot of different films here.
It seems like those items were the only ones that were in usable condition. Everything else is very rusted and rotted and broken, as they were obviously tossed around together.
How convenient.
It's amazing, frankly, that this acid vial was not broken.
Is anybody going to take it out of my mouth, or am I just going to carry it?
We're just going to let you carry it.
All right.
That way you can do something useful as a sheep. You can...
Be a pack sheep.
Maybe being careful with this acid vial in your mouth will keep you from baaing too loud.
It's a gag.
I like to leave the room and go to the other door.
Okay.
As if that wasn't obvious that was the next solution, but whatever.
Does it look like I could clear the cannons without making a whole shit ton of noise?
No, and there's enough of them stacked there, because there's probably like 8 to 10 gun ports in this room, and like all but one of the cannons were piled up on the far side, so it would not only make a lot of noise, but it would take quite a while and a lot of effort.
Alright.
So you open the door to the interior.
Stealthily.
Okay, well, everybody give me a stealth check then.
Well, can
And Chrome
I
with disadvantage.
open the door stealthily? Cause,
If you roll good on your stealth check.
well, okay. I'm just saying they don't need to roll stealthily if I'm the one doing the action, but okay.
Oh, but we're all proceeding, presumably.
What is stealth? Dex. That's a 5.
I also got a 5.
I got a 10.
Man.
Okay. You try to open this door to the interior, and it's jammed a little bit. During the violence of this shipwreck, some of the wood has been warped and kind of budged into itself. So in order to open it, you like slowly pull harder and harder and harder, trying to just give enough force, but once it finally breaks away, it's pop! And opens really loud.
I hit the deck.
As it opens, a gust of cold wind comes and blows over the three of you, and it's almost like you can hear a scream in it.
Ooh.
But it's not like you're like, was that a scream? No, I don't think that was a scream. That just sounded really screamy and spooky.
Spooky shit.
Looking through the door from the ground, I guess, Oriana, you can see that it opens up into a hallway.
Do I see 2 little girls at the end of the hallway?
No, and it doesn't open like from the end of the hallway. It's like it opens into a hallway stretching towards either side.
What? Say that again?
We're basically coming into the middle of a long hallway,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
rather than at one end or the other.
So, what do I see? Do I see doors?
Is there any light?
No, there's no light. Are you peeking through the door or going through the door?
Yeah.
Okay. Turning to the right, you see the hallway has been collapsed. It seems like some upper floor has fallen into it, and there's, again, no passageway. To the left, you see a door a little bit farther down and on the opposite wall, and then the hallway gently curves to the right to where you can't see where it goes. Are you in the hallway now?
Yes.
Okay.
So I guess we go left.
Being completely blind, I will stow the shield and take out the half-burnt torch that I snuffed earlier and relight it.
Okay.
Chrome, if you're sneaking, you do not have a light to show them where you are. Here, put your hand on my shoulder, and I will guide you through the darkness.
I will snuff it out in my palm. Fine, but I might whack you if things get rough.
I have a high dex. It is okay.
Sheep can see behind themselves without turning their heads, by the way.
But do they have dark vision?
No, they do not.
They don't have dark vision. I'm looking up to see, like, real sheep vision senses in the dark.
Okay, I like this idea of Oriana in the front and Chrome having his hand on her shoulder, and then Heikki biting the tail of of Chrome's like sash thing or whatever.
I put the chain around Heikki like a leash.
Do you have a rope, or did you just choose to use this chain?
I choose the chain. I have rope. I choose the chain.
Okay. So, sheep Heikki is leashed in the back via chain. Blind Chrome is in the middle with his hand on Oriana's shoulder. Oriana, you're leading the way down this hallway?
Yes.
Okay. You take like 4 or 5 steps, and then first Oriana, then Chrome, and actually I think Heikki might be too short.
I'm probably taller as a sheep than I am as a...
Sheep's still pretty short. But the two humanoids get a sensation like you walk through a cold spot.
If I have a chance after that, I'd like to use Divine Sense.
Okay, first make a perception check.
All right.
Sheep 2?
Yeah, sure.
11.
That's a 10.
Nat 1. Plus 0.
Okay, as you pass through this cold spot, you catch like a very subtle scent, but you can't tell what it is. Except for Sheep Heikki, who doesn't smell shit.
So, I'd like to burn one more use of Divine Sense.
Okay.
Feel out for creepies.
Using your Divine Sense, this whole place seems a little bit desecrated.
The ship sucks.
Thank you, Chrome.
You do not sense any creatures, though.
Okay.
Onward.
All right.
What is the climate? Actually, what is the climate like outside? Because if we have gotten the cold chills every once in a while, then it makes me curious about what temperature
weather.
it should be. Yeah.
It's probably, I'm going to say some bullshit now, this time of year, at this
The monsoon
latitude,
season.
with the prevailing trade winds coming out of the east, it's probably like 45 or 50 degrees out whenever the sun starts to set. Maybe high of like 60, but you're on the sea, so it's breezy and salty and kind of chilly.
Okay. A hoodie and shorts with sandals.
There's always that one guy. All right. Yeah, okay. That was just curious. I walk onward with my posse in tow.
So you leave behind the door that would be on your left now that you came out of, and ahead is a door on your right. And then the hallway continues towards the gentle bend.
I stealthily open the door on the right.
Okay. This one's not jammed closed, so you can open it easily, but it does creak a bit as you open it. So you open it all the way?
As far as I need to see what's in it. To see if it's relevant or not.
You open it enough to peek through. Also, because this is a ship, I'm going to say that these are sliding doors.
Okay.
All right.
Because that makes sense to me.
Like pocket doors?
Yeah, like a pocket door. So you slide this door to the side. enough to peek inside, and with your dark vision, what you see is what seems to be a bunk room. On the walls, there are these bunks stacked like 4 on top of each other to the ceiling, giving a very cramped space, like not even enough space to sit up in each one. There's no mattresses on them, just rotted wood planks. It's not a very wide room, but down the middle, there are posts, and between each post, there are a line of hammocks.
But there's no one in there, like bodies.
No bodies in there.
No skeletons.
Not that you can see from peeking through the door.
Okay. I close the door.
Okay.
And carry on.
All right. You're not nearly as curious as Heikki, are you?
No.
Taking a few more steps around a bend, everybody give me another perception check. Actually, this is... No, because 2 of you are blind.
Yeah.
And it's not... It's got a good enough contrast. Oriana, you see on the ground what looks like a leaf of paper.
I hold up my left arm with a fist, as in to indicate that you should stop.
To the people that can't see you?
Yes.
We're all bumping into Oriana.
And then bend down and pick up the piece of paper.
Okay. You pick up the piece of paper. You turn it over and there's some writing on it. Do you sit there and read it, or do you stow it for later?
Can I read it?
Yeah. You're studied enough. It seems to be in it's in common, but it's like there's some weird phrasing and wording in it that makes you think maybe this sheet of paper is pretty old, because people don't talk like this anymore.
What does it say?
Fie upon thee, sir.
For I've been pitched in battle for a fortnight.
Because I didn't bother writing it weird, we're just going to say this is your translation of it into normal, modern, common.
We can fix it in post.
You're not doing anything in post. It's all me. What the fuck? You don't get to say that you're fixing stuff in post. Fuck you.
Oh, don't worry. We can edit that. It'll take a long time, but we can edit that for sure.
Yeah. I can just make sure it gets done. Executive power.
Okay.
Hey, did you do that thing I wanted you to do yet?
Get that TPS report. Really important you do that TPS report. Boom, another movie reference.
So, the translation is, the captain has ordered the fleet to sail into the unknown. This new advisor of the captain's
Hold
gives
on.
me an uneasy...
Hold on. I'm writing all this down.
I can text it to you later.
Okay, do that. Now start
Okay.
over. So we can edit it in
All right.
post.
The captain has ordered the fleet to sail into the unknown. This new advisor of the captain's gives me an uneasy feeling. Something about the way she looks at me makes me feel like a morsel of food. Her whispering in the captain's ears is upsetting the status quo. We rule these seas, and we are all becoming rich. That should be enough. But the captain has taken a liking to her advisor's suggestion to use the Hadean's might to chart the world and become the queen of all the seas. I protested, thinking my first mate position would carry some weight. All it got me was a week of half rations. Perhaps I am worrying for nothing. As long as I am by the captain's side aboard this mighty ship, what harm can come? We have a fleet full of supplies, sailors, and soldiers. We are the dominant force on this plane.
Can I do a roll on the word Hadeans?
Yeah, and also tell me if you're reading this out loud or not.
No.
Okay. Give me a history check with disadvantage.
That's a 6.
Okay. Doesn't conjure anything to your mind.
Okay. I fold it up, put it in my pack, and carry on.
Okay.
What's going on? What was that? Why did we stop?
I found a piece of paper. It has a clue written on it, but we need to get out of this hallway where we are vulnerable.
You continue down the hallway another few feet and get to the gentle turn to the right. Looking down this stretch, you see on the far end there's a staircase going up, and halfway between you and that staircase on either side is a door. Although the door on the left side looks damaged, and you can see some like other boards sticking through it, like there was a big collapse and crash on the other side of that door.
Okay. I walk up and try the door on the right.
Okay, it's another sliding door that opens fairly easily. You peek inside. It looks like an armory. There are racks of rusted weapons and armor lining the walls.
I go in.
Okay. The 3 of you go inside single file into this armory.
Yep.
The whole thing gives you a very spooky vibe, but there's no enemies in here. There's no bodies. There is like one skeleton off in the corner, but it's not like standing or anything. It's just an old rotted skeleton. Probably not even a full skeleton.
It's probably a nice skeleton.
And there's some racks of armor and weapons. Looking around, all of the weapons look pretty rusted and the armor is pretty deteriorated as well. Doesn't really look like there's anything of value. But as all three of you get inside, I need you to go ahead and make me a dexterity save as you hear a rattling, and one of the racks full of rusted cutlasses begins to shake and jingle, and then the cutlasses start flying off of the rack towards you.
I rolled a 10.
Do Heikki and I roll a disadvantage for being blind?
Also, am I sure-footed?
No, this isn't a knock you off your feet type of thing.
Okay.
And yeah, you'd probably roll a disadvantage since you can't see.
Oh, I got a nat 20 and a 3.
Both of mine were 5s.
Okay, you take, since you all failed, you each take 11 slashing damage.
Oof, indeed.
Ow.
So how does polymorph work? Do I carry over damage or do I just poof?
Yeah. When you drop anything that would take you below 0 gets transferred to your normal health.
Okay, and you said 11?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm on the back half of my health with no spells.
I just poof back being into Heikki, and I don't say anything. I just still have the acid in my mouth.
Okay. As you're bleeding from a few cuts.
Yeah.
Ow! Ow!
Bah!
One more escapes. Guys, I speak sheep now.
I had like no idea that I was a sheep the whole time. It was just things look a little different. Things are a little weird.
Well, the good news is you have your dark vision back. The bad news is there is still a chain around your neck.
As soon as we get hit, I think I want to lead Chrome out of the armory.
Okay. The cutlasses fly across the room, some of them slashing some gashes into you. About half of them stick into the opposite wall, and the rest kind of just cling to the ground on the other side, and after that, there doesn't seem to be any movement.
Either the ship is haunted, or that was some crazy gravitational pull just in that very specific spot.
Oh no, this entire ship is haunted.
Why didn't you not say something before this?
I told you this ship sucks.
This ship sucks equals this ship is haunted, and we might be attacked by animate objects.
We may need to work on your specificity in the future.
Yeah, explaining what's going on would be really nice. Leaving us all in the dark and not having any idea what you're doing.
I'm still in the dark. The whole ship is dark.
Okay, guy who just turned into a sheep for an hour and melted caramel in his hand and disappeared for a few seconds.
Huh?
I will kind of like feel along the length of the chain and again kind of like palm Heki's face and like make sure.
It probably surprises Chrome to find that he is a human or a gnome again.
I will remove the chain from off of Heki's face. A talking sheep would have been more interesting.
So Oriana leads you back into the hallway. To the right is the staircase. To the left is where you came from.
I go right.
Okay. You turn right. You go up the staircase. The floorboards creak, especially under Chrome's weight. As you come up the stairs, this room is kind of odd-shaped because you realize this room is probably at the front of the ship. And Heikki, you're starting to realize that considering that cannon, the gun deck was about as long as you would have expected from a ship.
Mm-hmm.
Normally they go almost the whole length of the ship. And you've gone a considerable way past that. You start to realize this ship is really big.
This is a big ship, guys.
Yes, we understand. It is big, it is bad.
But the room that you come out into is seems to be some sort of just a gathering area with some like picnic table style benches and what may have used to have been some like board game type, not board game type things, but like a ancient fantasy pirate version of shuffleboard and a pool table and a dartboard type of stuff. This was probably like a recreation room.
Based on all the stuff that we see, is there a way that I would be able to roll something to see exactly when this stuff was used?
I would say that Heikki, being a sailor, could probably roll a history check to guess at how long this wreck had been there.
Yeah, like what I know about this type of ship, it was built here. These countries or pirates still use it. So
go ahead and give me a history check.
Okay, 9.
Okay. It's actually throwing you off because you are generally very knowledgeable about anything naval, and this ship doesn't look like anything you've seen before. Not only is it huge, but just like the layout is strange, and the construction seems strange, and it's hard to tell because it's been buried under all these other shipwrecks how long it's been here, but just from the age of the shipwrecks that are on top of it, you would guess it's been here for well over 100 years.
Sheesh. I convey that.
Maybe longer.
I think this ship is really old, guys, like 100 years or more, and it's weird.
Big, old, haunted.
Sounds about right.
Heikki, it also stands out in your mind that the exterior of the ship seemed to be metal plated. That's not a thing that happens.
Especially not 100 years ago.
Also, it has iron sides.
Is there another door from this room?
Because this is like a room at the front of the ship, there's like a symmetry to it. So on the opposite side, there's another staircase down into like an opposite hallway, except it's also collapsed and kind of blocked off. There is another entrance towards the rear of the ship that is currently a closed door. Although I will say at this point, it is getting pretty late. You probably all have a sense of if you don't get some rest soon, you might end up with some exhaustion.
Okay, is there a way to move one of the tables against the open door as like fortification or...
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, I'd say with Chrome there, you could do that fairly easily.
Okay, let's do that.
Where's the table? There's tables in here?
Yeah, I lead you over, put your hands on the table.
I blindly lift up whatever my hands end up on.
And then I turn you around, move you over towards the stairs, making sure you don't go down the stairs.
So for the next several minutes, you kind of steer Chrome around, moving tables in front of both of the entrances, the stairway and the door.
Well, I guess it wouldn't matter if we were here, if he opened or like did his torch and like stuck it somewhere or centrally to where he could see what was going on if we're going to take a rest.
Do either of you have any light cantrips?
I have a bonfire.
Or light producing cantrips?
I cast bonfire.
Do you think before you did you say things?
Nope.
Actually, Heikki, give me a perception check.
Okay. Alright, that's a 17 plus 1, 18.
Okay. Looking around, especially now that some of the debris has been cleared out by Chrome, you actually see a fireplace.
Oh. Well, I cast bonfire in the fireplace.
Which, again, surprises you, considering you're in a ship. But this is a very large ship, and this is a recreation area, and you start to think, oh, okay, I mean, I guess.
Guys, this is really weird. Look at this. And I start a fire in the bonfire.
Okay.
Are fireplaces not just in, fancy ships and things like that?
No, usually fire's not good on a ship.
Oh, I can see how that would be detrimental to the whole thing.
Yeah, it's really hard to do anything with the ashes.
So did you just, kill us? Because we're on a ship and there's fire.
I think it's only if the ship is actually sailing is when it's dangerous.
Ah, I see.
It's like the wind.
If you're in a burning ship and it's landlocked, it's fine.
Yeah. The wind is what makes it go from, board to board.
That makes sense.
All right. With what little light I can get off of that, I will slowly pile more crap in front of every possible door and opening.
Okay. It takes you the better part of an hour, but you feel like you've fortified this room as well as you can with what's available.
All right.
Guys, I'm really tired. I had a bad day.
Jesus.
Oh, no.
Just like let us come up with whatever rule we think is fair, and then, damn to the consequences.